Well, hello everybody, here we are again. We are progressing on now. This is our next section in our inequalities section on how to solve these. Again, please, we must remember, again, when we to flip this inequality symbol, if we multiply or divide by a negative number, and only if it's multiplying or dividing. If you are adding a negative number to both sides, nothing changes. It's only when we multiply or divide. Okay, so please be careful on that. I had some kids who are getting confused. Now, as we start to solve these, again, nothing changes. Let's just work into this. This whole chapter is about, or section in the chapter is about multiple steps. So yeah, while we were only doing 1 or 2 steps in the last section, these are going to be several steps, maybe 3, maybe 4 steps. Maybe you have a distribution that has to go on first before we start to like really get into the nitty-gritty of solving these equations. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, look at this one. Just to start off with our first example, remember, always start off, box the term that has the variable. You cannot mess with the coefficient or this variable at all until everything else on your scale on this side has been removed. Here we are. We have a positive 4. Well, the addition, subtraction property of equality allows us to move this 4. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. Opposite of addition is subtraction, so therefore we're subtracting it. Get a cancellation. And then here we go here. We have what? 10 minus 4 is 6. We have 2 over 3z. Now, guys, we can go ahead and get rid of this entire fraction. We don't need any of it here, right? We can get rid of this in one step. How do we get rid of a fraction? Well, we've always said multiply by its denominator. Well, that'll get rid of the denominator in the fraction and leave us with like the numerator. I want to get rid of the whole thing. So we're going to use the reciprocal. We'll take multiply by its reciprocal or flip it. Right? Because if we multiply this, what? 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 over 6 is 1. So they cancel. This was the multiplication or division property of equality. Right? If I'm going to do it to one side, I have to do it to this side too. 3 over 2. All right, so here's the little side work here. We got what? 3 times 6 is, I'm going to do it over 18 over 2. And 18 divided by 2 is a 9. The z will come down. And like that, we solved our first one. You put your answer on a number line. Here's your 9. This does, again, remain solid dot. It includes the 9, and it's everything that is less than 9. Our next example, look, oh, I can see I have variables on both sides. This one here is trapped in a set of parentheses, so we actually have to distribute this -5 first. So -5x, this is releasing my x out of those sets of parentheses, so then I can start to combine my like terms and all this good stuff. See, -5 times a -5, a negative times a negative is a positive, and 5 times 5 is 25. Carry everything else down. It is very important, guys, show your work for these. If you are showing your work, you are greatly increasing your odds of getting these problems right. So we distributed if we wanted to justify our step. Now, we're going to do a little adding or subtraction property of equality. Add minus equality. What are we going to do? I need to move this. I need to move our -5x over to the other side. So in order to do that, I have to add 5x. I want to add 5x. So 5 and 4 is a 9x. These will cancel. All right, great. I can also do this. I want this to go to the other side because I'm trying to get just my x's on one side. So this is a minus symbol. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So I can add to both sides. Wonderful. 25 plus 2 is 27. Now all I have to do, and notice I did use two different colors so I could show you this is technically 2 steps you're going on. Already done 3 steps to solve this. Now we're going to divide by 9. The opposite of multiplication is division, and we are dividing by a positive number, so everything in the inequality stays the same. Multiplication, division, property of equality. So these will cancel and leaves me with an x is greater than 27 divided by 9 is 3. And if you want to represent this on a fancy little number line here, this would be a open, close. Do you remember? Yeah, that's right. That is an open dot. There's no equal sign underneath, and it's pointing to the right because when we solved it, we made sure that we kept our variable on the left. It makes these easier to graph. You know, this is not too bad of a lesson. It's just the problems are longer because of the multiple steps. Here we go again. We got this one, this example again. We have to distribute first because we need this out of the set of parentheses. So we have 3 times x is a 3x. 3 times -2 is -6. We can carry all of the rest of everything down with us. Greater than or equal to sign. All right, let's combine some like terms. I can see that what? We have x's here, and I have some x's here, right? So if I have a -6, I owe somebody $6. I pay them back 3. That's adding positive and negative integers. I'm left with -3x. All right. I could also say now let's just reduce this here. We're gonna, instead of trying to do more than one step at a time, sometimes we try to do too much on our head. That's when we make a mistake. Just carry it on down. Let's draw our scales. Right. This is my term I'm trying to solve for. It's stuck. I need to add 6 to both sides. That's the addition, subtraction, property of equality. It says what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm left with a 5. Greater than or equal to -3x. Right, look, x is still not by itself. We have one more step to do here. We have to, what, -3 is being multiplied by x, so the opposite of multiplication is division by -3. And if we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other. Notice though, here's that the star. Maybe it sent up your little flag. Uh-oh, something needs to be done. What? We multiplied by a negative. The sign has to flip. These will cancel. And there's nothing we can do with that. I know it's a fraction. We don't like looking at them. But guys, this is the beauty of Algebra 1. We leave our answers in its most accurate form, which is not turning it into a mixed number. It can't be reduced any. So our answer is just -5/3. And I know that if you actually look in the calculator, right, 5/3, 5 divided by 3 is like 1.66666666666. So if you had to identify a graph on your homework, right, -1.6666, you'd have a 0, you'd have 1, you'd have -1 and -2. You would know that this is a solid dot, probably somewhere right about in here. And it's pointing in this direction if you had to identify a graph, okay? This is our last example here. Oh, wow, look at this. There's a lot going on here, right? You know what? I'm going to just do my distribution first. negative 4y. Sometimes we have to make a problem bigger to help us make it easier, right? Negative 12, that gets rid of these. I've distributed, plus 4. Now I'm going to distribute this side, so that's minus 4y. Minus 6. Oh, that wasn't as bad, right? We're getting faster at this, provided we're doing our homework and we're practicing. Right now I know what I need to start to, I got variables and pieces all over the place. Let's combine this here first. This is just, it's I don't like it. It's driving me crazy. So we have a negative 12 plus a 4. So this is really a negative 8 here. This is helping us get it to look a little better, right? Maybe we see something that's happening, kind of like when we were solving equations. Okay, we got to keep going. Let's go. I need to move all these 4s over. I need to add a 4y. Okay, I need to add a 4y. Oh, I know we're already starting to feel like we didn't do something right. That's okay. Let's just. Uh-oh, they all cancel. I'm left with negative 8 is greater than negative 6. Is that a true or false statement? Remember, we said sometimes strange things happen. It also happens this way with inequalities. Were we left with a false statement or a true statement? I don't know. Let's just, maybe you don't see it yet. Okay, we're going to let's add 6 to both sides. All right, these cancel. 0. Now we can't do anything else. Is negative 2 greater than 0? No, it's not. This is a false statement, so we know we have no solutions. Just like we did with equations. That means it doesn't matter what number we plug into that equation, it would never work. All right, guys, the only way to demystify math is to practice and do your homework. Remember, in algebra, we are really doing nothing more math magically than adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with sets of rules. So as long as you learn your rules and you practice your work, anyone can be successful at algebra. All right, have a great day, guys. I will see you guys all later. Do your homework.